not to let you in, you fall, I let you go. I'm giving it up for maybe.
Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So today's video is just going to be a little get ready with me, trying to use every single item in my project pan. We're gonna use definitely most of them. I know I have 4 lip products, and so I don't know exactly how I'm gonna try to implement all of them, but we're gonna try. But let's get into it. So I'm gonna implement my first lip product, which is my Vaseline, by just using it right now before putting on the rest of my lipstick, or putting on the rest of my makeup. So the point of this, get ready with me, is just to show the ways I've been using the items in my project pan. It might kind of be a little mini update just because of what I'm like doing, you know. You might end up seeing some of the products and like how much I've used of them. This is not in my project pan, this is just my moisturizer. But yeah, so the point of today's get ready with me is just to talk about my project pan so far, and use all of those products up. Or not use them up, but use them, show you how I'm using them up. Okay, now I'm going to use my Imperialis primer. Again, not something in the project. So the first thing that we are using from the project pan, I guess we've already used the Vaseline. Okay, so the Vaseline is right there, is the Tarte, wait, sorry, no, that's not true. So I'm going to do my eyes first. That's something I've been trying to do more frequently because I realized that my Naked Urban Decay palette has a lot of fallout. So I'm going to put my primer on my eyes. I use the same primer on my eyes as I do on the rest of my face, because I just don't have a separate eye primer. But I have found that it's quite helpful in keeping my eyes less falling everywhere. So obviously we're using my Pan That palette, which is the Naked Urban Decay, and we're not going to use every single shade because that would be insane, but we're just going to go in and make an eye look with shades in this palette. So obviously we're going in with Hot Spot because that is what I use to set my primer, and just like really make my base. Yeah. I've used Hot Spot every single time I've done my eye makeup in the past since this project started, and I'm going to continue to use it every single time until it's done, or until I hit pan, because then I might start trying to use Caution every single time to set my base. I think we're gonna do a lighter look today, or like a lighter look with then like a darker glimmer maybe. Okay, because the more I look at this palette, the one thing that I think is really, really beautiful but just doesn't belong in this palette is Ambitious, which is this beautiful copper color that is just so pretty, but it just does not belong in this palette for the life of it. It's just like, it's so pretty, but it doesn't match anything else in here, and so I might just use that today. Like, that just might be my base color, and then I need to find a color that like works in the crease. Maybe Devilish can be my crease color. I think those kind of look okay together, but that's what I'm saying, is I feel like none of these really work as a good color to go with Ambitious. If you look at my spreadsheet that I've been making, that is the one thing that I feel like has not had nearly as much use as every other color, because I just feel like it does not get like the look that it needs. So I think we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go in with the Devilish, and we're gonna do the crease. I'm just gonna go in. I use my finger to do the glimmers just because I feel like it works better. I think I could spray my brush and it would also work pretty well, but I've been using my fingers instead. And yeah, we're just gonna get Ambition all over that eye. It's very messy, but I will go over it and fix it with my concealer. So now I'm gonna go in with one of my Eco Tools brush, and I'm gonna use the blender and just blend everything out. And then I'm gonna go back into Devilish with the smudger and just kind of smudge out the edges. And the final thing we're gonna do for this look that I do not love in the slightest is I'm gonna go in with the liner brush in Privacy and just do my liner. I've been doing this every single time I do my makeup too, using Privacy as my liner. So Hotspot and Privacy are the two definitely most used colors currently. Probably followed by Fields and Juicy, and you'll see why in a second, or in a little bit. Okay. Okay, so I just went in with my concealer and just like cleaned it up a little bit. But now we're gonna go in with my second thing, or item from my project pan, which is my Tarte Precision Liner. And I'm gonna just make a wing. My biggest issue with this liner is I'm not super proficient with liner. And so whenever I have like a good look, I never want to ruin it by like trying to make a wing, you know? Yeah, I'm definitely not a liquid liner kind of girl. That's what I learned through using this. As you can tell, because I messed up my makeup. I will say, this is my first time using this concealer, and it is very liquidy. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's quite a liquidy consistency. I don't know if it has great coverage, as you can kind of tell. Grabbing the Naked palette one more time and just, I guess, using the smudger to smudge out the shape again. There we go. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, just lining the actual lid with the liquid liner. Basically where the brown liner was. I have mixed feelings about this liner because I'm just not very good with liner. And then on top of that, it just feels like it's not something that is gonna be done with. I'm not gonna be done with anytime soon. And so it's like, and I don't even know how to like tell. And it's just very sad. Okay, so that was the second thing. So now we're actually starting on the face. And we primed earlier. And now we have the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation, which is one of the Project Pan items. I'm just going to put it on with my Eco Tools sponge. And I just have been using it for my full face. I know I talked about not doing that and just like using it almost like a concealer. But I don't know if it's just because it's super old, but I just feel like it does not do much except for like pore fill, I guess would be the way to say it. Like it makes me have a very poreless finish until it like settles into my pores. But in terms of like fixing my coloring even, I feel like it doesn't do much. Like it's still very obvious places where I'm red. And you can see like pimples. Again, I think that could be because it's quite an old product. But yeah, I don't know. I remember really liking this concealer, and I do think, I mean this foundation, and I do think like when you don't wear foundation for a while and then you put on foundation, you're like, wow, that foundation is crazy because it like fills all the pores and you're like, wow, that's amazing. But the more I wear it, the more underwhelmed I am by it, I guess would be the way to describe it. Okay, so that's the third thing. So now we're gonna go in with my Pacifica liquid coverage. Actually, that's not what we're gonna go in with. We're gonna go in with like two little Elate Cosmetics samples. Neither really matched my color, unfortunately, but I do want to use them up because they're just little like 4 milliliter, 0.4 milliliter samples. So I'm just gonna go in and use those on the areas that need. Okay, so we're gonna do highlight. I have my Tartist liquid highlight, so I'm just gonna do that on my finger. And I'm gonna go back in with my Naked Urban Decay Cherry with Hotspot one more time, and I'm gonna use that as my brow highlight. Honestly, it's just like a lightener. There's no glimmer or sparkle in it, but I just like it for framing my brow because I don't put anything in my brow. I just brush it with a spoolie that I can't even find currently, so here it is. Honestly, I used to be that person who like did not wear mascara every day, but wearing this BWC mascara has been lovely and I really like it. So I've actually been wearing mascara a lot more often. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the Manna Kadar is part of the project pan, so that was used. What else is part of the project pan that I used? Nothing, I think. Other than like using Hotspot again, obviously. Okay. I should have probably curled my nail eyes first, but I forgot. Because I'm very out of it. So sorry about that. What do I need to do now? Okay, I need to do my blush. So I'll show you what I'm doing with my blush. So I take the same brush that I used for contour, but I just make sure there's no contour on it. And I go back into the Urban Decay Cherry and I take Feels and Juicy, which are the two pinky colors, and I just kind of like go like this with my brush on them, and then I just put them on my cheeks. And I've been really enjoying that because it's another way of using it. I think it looks really pretty as a blush. I think they're beautiful colors. They're definitely not the colors that I'm having issues using, but I like that there's another way for me to use them. Because at first I was like, I'm only gonna use dark colors because like right now is winter and so it's trying to use dark colors. But then I was like, I'm not enjoying it as much because I'm only using dark colors. So I started using my lighter colors again. Because I was like, at least then I can use the light colors, you know? And then once the light colors are done, like, then they're done, and that's okay because they have other palettes that have lighter colors, and maybe I just won't use this as frequent once a good portion of it has been used up, you know? Like, it makes sense to me. and I'll just focus on the darker colors in the fall and winter of next year, or whenever I find a reason to use them. Like I used Devilish today, for instance. What else do I need to do? What has not been done yet? Oh, my inner corner highlight hasn't been done. I'm gonna use this brush, and go in with the Bare Minerals that I was using. There we go. It's not a super vibrant illuminizer or anything, but I think it works really well as an inner corner highlight because it diffuses really well into the eyeshadow. Just a little bit in the top brow to add a little bit of sparkle up there. Okay, now I'm gonna do powder on my face. I'm currently trying to use up the Ulta Beauty Finishing Powder. It's not a part of my product plan, but it's something that I'm very, very close to finishing. And so, yeah. Sorry, I gotta put my mirror back up here. I use my laptop to hold my mirror because it's such a weird mirror that I'm using right now. And I'm also trying to update I try to update my tallies of how much I've used things while I'm putting them on. Okay, and now I'm going to use one more thing in my project pan, the Mario Badescu Rose Spray. Sorry, I just realized I'm not trying to show you how much I've used that. I'm just gonna... Okay, and that's just a nice setting mist, and it makes it look less cakey, I feel like. So that's another one. And now we're gonna go in for the lip products. So I'm gonna use the Nature Luxe lip balm as a base, and I'm gonna make my lips all shiny. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Stila gloss, and I'm just gonna put it on top to make it a little bit more glossy. So I have the shine from the Nature Luxe because this is not a glittery color at all. But then I'm getting that glossy wet look from the lip balm. I mean from the lip gloss. That means the only lip color I did not use during this experiment is my CoverGirl Lip Jumbo Balm in this pinky color. And that was by design, not like I purposely excluded this, but just like I purposely used the other three because those are the three I'm trying to pan this month. And so I figured it made more sense for me to use those instead of this one. So yeah, so we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're about to use 8 because I'm gonna put on the Victoria's Secret Heavenly Perfume. Let me just... Beautiful. And then the final thing that we can use now that I've finished my makeup is the Burt's Bees hand salve, and I'm just gonna take a little bit and put it on my hands and rub them together. A nice little lotion for the beginning of the day. I usually do honestly do this right after I put on all of my makeup because my hands can be greasy for a little bit after I have my makeup on, versus I can't really put it on before I put my makeup on, or I'll do it like right when I wake up. So that was 9 out of 10 products. The only thing I did not use was the CoverGirl Jumbo Perfection, and I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 12 shades in my Naked Cherry palette. Which honestly, normally I use more than that, because I'll use a primer setter, I'll use Field and Juicy for my blush, I'll use a color as my crease color, I'll use matte as my base color, and then I'll use a glimmer as my eye, like on the top of the lid, and then I'll use Privacy as my liner, and then sometimes I'll also diffuse with a different color, especially if like I didn't use Devilish in the actual look. I'll end up using Devilish as my diffusing color on the outside. Or Bing. I really like Bing. I'm honestly surprised I didn't incorporate Bing today. I just think Bing and Ambition don't look good together, and I have not used Ambition the 5 times I said I would. I think there's only 2 things in here I have not used the 5 times I said I would. Maybe 3. And I already know how I'm going to use one of them tomorrow. Because it was what I was going to do today when I realized that I have not used Ambition nearly enough times, and so why not use it with you guys? Because the point of this is to show that I am using my products. Well, not just show that I'm using my products, but also to just use them with you. Because I've never, like, put these 2 guys together. And that actually looks really, really pretty. I really like how it looks. So that might be a thing that I do for the next little bit. It is a little bit more work, like I have to carry around both with me, but who knows. Anyway, other than that, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down below how your project pan is going, if you're doing one, your thoughts on how I use these. Do you have any other creative ways I could have used these? I know I could have used this as like a cream blush. And honestly, I probably should have, but I really wanted to show how I was using my Naked as blush, because that's something I'm actually doing every day, versus that would have been like being creative. This would have also been good as like a cream eyeshadow. I wanted, again, to use my Naked palette. So let me know other creative things like that I can do. Let me know your predictions about things that I've used up, or I'm going to use up, based on what you might have seen in this sneaky little kind of update, because obviously some things got used and some things didn't even get mentioned. I don't know. Everything I put on my face will be linked down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below, and if you want to stick around, you totally can, because I make new videos every 3 days. Some are Get Ready With Me, some have to do with project pans, some have to do with like fashion, some are, I have no idea, because I'm about to go back to school, and so I have no idea what's about to be filmed back at school. But I do know that I have some really exciting content ready to come up, so you should definitely stick around for that if you want to, because again, new videos will be coming up every few days, and I would love it if you were here. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you next time. Bye.
Weren't you too scared to spell? No matter the cost, you about whatever I